I wanted to also talk to you about what you could tell everybody about sync licensing. There's a lot of fans that listen to this stuff, but there's a lot of musicians that listen to it too. So anything that you've found so far would help.
Main thing is copyright your music. Don't trust nobody else to do it for you. I find that a lot of the young bands, that's their problem now.
Yeah.
They don't know nothing about. They know nothing about copywriting their music. Mm-hmm. And it's the same trap that every band's fell in since the beginning of recording. Mm-hmm. Right? Oh, well, I'm young and I just want to get out there and I want to tour. I want to get on a label.
Get signed.
Get signed.
That's it.
I don't know. Even the Beatles knew nothing about publishing.
Sure.
Your money's in publishing, bro. If you ain't got your stuff copyrighted, somebody else has got it.
Yeah.
So when you decide to quit playing, or you know, that song that you wrote 20 years ago that you thought was just yours sitting in the vault somewhere, winds up on a movie or winds up being played by somebody else, and you didn't copyright your stuff, take the time, copyright your music, and registered with a PRO like BMI or ASCAP, CSAC in Canada.
Yeah.
You missed the boat, bro.
Yeah, make sure.
You know, then, you know, how many musicians throughout, it's the story, it's an age-old story, right?
Yeah.
How many guys got screwed out of music?
Yeah, and really right now, I can't even imagine what the arena looks like. It's got to be piss poor pitiful because they got lawyer firms buying up catalogs just so they can sue for rights.
To BlackRock. What's that big investment company, BlackRock or something? They own all. They buying up everything.
It's so dirty to me.
It's a dirty, low-down business, but you don't have to be dirty and low-down.
Sure. So, well, you register your, like you said first, you register your copyrights and your publishing.
And it costs $65 to register 10 songs.
And your move into sync licensing, like we were talking about earlier, is something that I wanted to highlight as well, because not too many people know.
Right.
You know.
Me and Dominic talked about it from Crescent City Gumbo, right? And when he was like, hey, man, you can help some of these bands maybe get some licensing. Okay, sure, man. Tell them call me up. They call me up. Hey, man, you got your stuff copyrighted? No, what's that?
Yeah.
You registered with a PRO? No, we're with some site that does like a Spotify type of thing that sends you music to Spotify. Well, that might get you into court, but it's not going to win the case.
Yeah.
You know, the old mail, there was another thing where you can mail your song to yourself.
To yourself, and that was,
Well, over the last 12 years, I've done a lot of research and been to a lot of the sync licensing classes. Through Tipitinas and different foundations. Jazz and Heritage Foundation has them like once a year. You go in, you meet these supervisors, they tell you what you need to do, and that'll get you in court, but guess what? It won't win the case.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean nothing.
Sure.
So unless you registered with a PRO and you list your songs as you write them and you copyright them, you go in and you just go in for $100 to start a publishing company, and the money is in publishing.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that. I'll get a check every 3 months for publishing on songs that were licensed.
Gotcha.
You know. And I told you about another one where they owe me a lot of money and I haven't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the bottom line is, if you really don't care about what's going to happen in the future, and a lot of times when you're young you don't, then just keep doing what you're doing. But if you really want to own your music, I mean, that was a big thing with Prince. You found out, like, Prince, he was like, I own my music, man. He was, you know.
Sure. They've had a few. Ray Charles might have been the first. I don't remember.
Right, Dave Bartholomew, man. I got the occasion to record with Dave Bartholomew, and most people don't know he was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He wrote most of the music that One Night with You, Elvis made. He wrote that. The House is Rockin'. He was one of the first ones to mention rock and roll. All of those, Walking to New Orleans, all of those Fats Domino tunes. Dave Bartholomew wrote, but he was smart. In the 30s, he copyrighted his stuff.
Yeah.
He had a catalog of 280 songs that paid him every year.
Wow.
And his biggest one, he told me straight up. I said, "What's your biggest one moneymaker?" "One Night with You." He wrote for Smiley Lewis called "One Night of Sin."
Mm-hmm.
But white people couldn't say that on the radio at that time.
Uh-huh.
So Elvis turned it into "One Night with You."
Nice.
But Dave still made over 100,000 a year on that one song worldwide.
Yeah, and where did that go out? So that's like what today? That's
right.
A lot.
That was 20. He told me this in 2001 when I recorded with him.
Gotcha.
So you can imagine what it's.
There's a lot of people that missed out over the years, and I would think that people know. I would hope that people know that they need to go get their music copywritten. But you got sad stories like the Funk Brothers out of Motown. They kind of were in a situation where they sort of couldn't. I mean, it was music for hire, you know.
Yeah,
so it was a different situation. But so at least. I would say you're saying people get the copyright and also get your publishing, mechanical royalties too.
Yeah, you'll get your mechanical royalties from doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but you made the move into getting your music put into
I went from
video media.
My songs to now I'm doing scene. I just did a movie and I finished it last week where I did 6 songs. Where I scored scene music, which is a little different in context. We talked about that.
Sure.
It's not really melodies and stuff. And when you get into doing big movies like that, it's a contract that's called work for hire.
Okay.
Where they just pay you outright, and you create a 2-chord song, build it up, and do it, whatever, and then they own it.
Sure.
So that it's different than licensing your own stuff. But there's bigger payoffs up front.
I gotcha. Okay.
And it's kind of a business that I kind of wanted to break my way into. So there's a work for hire thing clause. Well, like, you know, they might offer you 10 grand to write music for this movie that they own. They'll own it because they keep it for their movie.
Sure.
And then there's also sync licensing where they take a song that you already wrote and already did, and they put it into the music of the show.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'm probably gonna get with you afterwards to maybe get a couple of resources. So I think we're pretty much done it, man.
All right. Hey, man. Good night, everybody.
See y'all
Good day.
later.